Hi, good morning, or I don't know what time of the day it is where you guys are all coming from. My name is Margaret, and I'm a student of Tiffany. So I'm just going to be helping Tiffany moderate this Zoom. And today, if you guys want to leave in the chat where you're coming from, I'm just going to allow for a couple of minutes to come in for everyone to join. We actually, there's a lot of people joining in. Hi, Danica. Hi, Rachel. I'm here in Hawaii right now, so I know we're all coming from different time zones. And it's not required that you have your videos on. Actually, we're going to be recording only Tiffany's screen so that there's going to be a replay that we'll send out to you. It will be available for 7 days. And we just ask that everyone mutes their mics as she speaks. And then she's also going to be teaching a guided meditation. Hi, Helen, Jen, Chris, Christy. Oh, we got some from Prague, Dan, Cassandra. So today's teaching with Tiffany Tin. She is my mentor, and she's been helping me on my priestess path and opening up my channeling abilities. I'm so excited, and it's an honor to introduce her. Just a little bit about the workshop. She's going to be teaching about how to safely channel protection, attuning your energy field, and give you some practices. And we'll actually do a live practice. So I'm going to introduce her now. Thank you, Tiffany, for joining and hosting.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you so much for welcoming and holding the temple for us. Welcome, everyone. Very excited to see familiar faces and some new faces as well. We're just going to give people about a few more minutes to settle in. Today's workshop is going to start off with me sharing some teachings and some resources to help you create a practice that's safe and effective for you in terms of your own channeling and connection to your higher self and guides. Then I'll guide you through a guided meditation where you can be in my vibration and my field alongside with other high vibrational beings of light to elevate your channeling abilities. Towards the end, we'll open up for a Q&A session. So if you have any questions about channeling in general, or any questions about your own experiences, or questions that you might have that you want to ask a really experienced teacher about channeling, I'll be opening up the ground for that. And I'm seeing quite a lot of people coming in right now, settling into this space. So to begin with, if I may ask everyone to please join me in a state of groundedness. Let us all take a deep breath in, closing our eyes for a moment, feeling into your body, and exhaling, rooting down to Mother Earth. And on your next in-breath, bring forth awareness in through the nostrils. Really feeling the breath coming into the body, reaching the lungs, your diaphragm opening up. And then exhale, squeezing the abdomen, releasing old, dense, or stagnant energy from the body. Another deep breath into the body, ground down. And then exhale, releasing. As your high priestess of light, I welcome you into the safe space filled with compassion, non-judgment, and neutrality. I welcome you into the space to be received by the pearlescent mother goddesses, the dragon protectors of the celestial realm, the seraphims of light, the goddesses of the pearls, the flames, the rays. We welcome you into the temple of the roses and to receive the divine alignment that you are here to experience today. May you take forth exactly what you need during this guided activation, this workshop today. And it is my pure and genuine heart to be here to be of service to you. On behalf of all the High Priestess and High Priest Collective, we thank you, honor you, and deeply appreciate you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we can slowly open the eyes and welcome to today's workshop. So in today's workshop, I'll be talking directly to camera, not so much slides. I find that it's more engaging if I'm looking right at you instead of a screen. So your learning style for some of you might like to jot down notes on the side. Please note that the workshop is recorded. You'll get a copy of it that you can rewatch for the next 7 days. There will also be transcript along with the video as well. So you don't have to take notes word for word. However, for your optimal learning and integration, it is helpful to have a piece of paper to the side just to jot down some main points or to jot down questions that might come up as I'm teaching today so that you remember to ask me at the end of the workshop. All right, so let us begin. The first area in today's workshop that we will cover is how to make sure that you're channeling safely and powerfully. Channeling is a skill that anyone can learn. A lot of times people have this idea that channeling is something mystical or beyond their reach, but channeling is our natural state of being. When you see a baby, when you see newborns, they are in a state of natural meditation. They are so aligned with their body, with their breathing pattern, with a connection to source that everything feels very natural. So channeling, we want it to be your second nature. We want it to be something where you feel very comfortable doing. And most importantly, when you learn channeling, it is something that empowers you. You will see in my teaching that I always honor my students and participants' sovereignty. So everything that I teach here is a guideline through the many years that I've been teaching, training light workers, training other high priestesses, high priests, but you can tweak it to make it work for you. That means if I use the word source or divine and it doesn't align to you, you can change it to another word that aligns for you. But the structure of the practice should be the same. The other thing important to remember is when we are channeling, whether with our higher self, with our spirit guides, or with beings of light, ultimately the goal is that you become that walking master on this earth. There is no codependency, no bypassing, no dependency on these beings of light. So this is something that is really important to remember when you're working with any types of light beings. We'll also talk about how to discern energy as well, and how do you know if it's your imagination or if it's actual channeling. 4 steps are really important in your journey. Number 1 is, first step, you want to ask and invoke the macrocosmos. Now, this could mean to you, you call it source, you call it God, you call it the Holy Spirit, or some of you call it the universe, some of you just call it your higher self. Basically, it's a macrocosmos that is all. The macrocosmos that contains the primordial sound of creation. So the first thing is we need to address them. It's just like when you're entering someone's house, for example, you're not just going to be like, oh, just walk past the host and I'm going to sit on their couch and expect them to teach me things and serve me. It doesn't work that way. We have to greet these beings of light. It's common mannerism. So first step is we need to say something like, dear source, or dear Mother Kuan Yin, dear Archangel Michael, dear my higher self. Make the quantum connection to that consciousness through your invocation. You're telling the universe, I am consciously allowing this safe connection with this consciousness through my intention or through your voice. This is the first step of your invocation. The second step is, now, a lot of people don't do this, wake up the microcosmos. When you are doing any form of channeling, a lot of people think that it's just about your spiritual body, your third eye. Channeling is an experience of your soul, your consciousness, but also your physical body. Your physical body is like your temple. If your temple is not grounded, if the foundation is not strong, how can you link in higher? I always say, and every time I teach, the higher that you want to reach, the deeper the roots needs to be. Think of yourself like a tree, right? The higher realm that you want to reach, but if your roots are wobbly, it's not grounded, you can reach as high as you want, right? Some people do spiritual bypassing all they want, but the foundation is wobbly. We want to start very grounded. There's a reason why many mystery school, martial arts, they always have the initiates do chores, do the very mundane work first. It's not that they weren't worthy of the channeling, but it's that the master and the way of teaching have to create a strong foundation first. So treat your body like the temple that it is. When you respect your body, it's going to learn with you with less resistance. So the microcosmos is waking up your temple. You saying, dear my soul, dear my mind, dear my heart, dear all of my organs, all of my cells, all of my DNA, all of my quantum particles. Why do we say this? Each of your organ has a soul, has a consciousness. If I were to take your brain out from your body energetically, I can talk to your brain. I can channel with your brain. That's how a lot of medical mediums, right, talk to patients or clients like that, is that they talk to a particular part of the body to see what's going on. Now, each of your body, if you've studied or learned about some type of Ayurveda teachings or traditional Chinese medicine, each organ connects to a specific element. And the element themselves has a certain function, certain property. For example, your kidneys, when is alignment, it is calm. When it's storing old information, it stores fear. So that's why a lot of times when you work with yourself or with your clients or student, someone that has a lot of fear, actually you have to work with their kidneys as well. The kidneys are a filtration system. So if it's in fear, it's not filtrating toxins from the body. It's not communicating to the brain to say, we need hydration, we need more water. So a lot of times when someone is highly stressed, anxiety, they're dehydrated. The kidneys qi, I guarantee you, is low. When you feel into it, the kidneys are struggling. They might have more urinary problems. They might have more UTIs, urinary tract infection, especially when the anxiety coupled with a sense of anger, right? That's how it manifests in the body. So when you're doing channeling, when you're doing healing, it's all uplifting you into a high vibration. So wake up all your organs to join you. You're telling, hey, kidneys, I know that you've been anxious. I know you've been storing some anxious energy that I've been experiencing. Wake up, join me now. We are in this practice together. So whether it's channeling messages, it's healing, your kidneys, soul is like, oh, okay, my master just woke me up. I need to join them. Right? This is also quantum physics as well. Then you wake up your cells. All your cells are listening to you. Your cells communicate with the external world, with each other, with other structure, with the infrared light of Mother Earth and Father Sun. So wake up all your cells. And those of you that have heard of Dr. Emoto's experiments know that water also listens to vibration, right? Your body gets healed from certain vibrations. Birds singing in the morning, it's actually one of the most beautiful and simplest way to heal anxiety. The vibration from birds' sound actually means to our brain that there's no danger, right? The birds wouldn't sing if they are in danger. So when they sing, they're saying we are in a calm mode. We are bringing like this high vibrational state of being. And so your brain listens to your environment as well, and it cues your nervous system to regulate itself. So we're using vibration, we're using everything that's around us. The DNA as well, your DNA have the 2 physical strands, but it also have ethereal templates as well. Your ethereal templates are how you activate your spiritual gifts, how you align yourself to your soul purpose, how you tap into your Akashic records, and so much more. So it's important to talk to your DNA and say, my DNA, wake up now and join me. Same thing with quantum molecules. There's a quantum molecule in your being called tachyons. Tachyons in itself, the higher the dimension, the more concentrated it is. So in our dimension, actually, we don't have too many tachyons, but when you go up to like the 5th dimensional, for example, how beings in the 5th dimension can do all these things that seemingly to us are magical, right, is because there's more tachyon particles in that dimension, right? They can do bilocation a lot easier. They can use telekinesis a lot easier because of that tachyon in their bodies. So we will take what we can get in this realm, turn on those quantum particles, turn on those tachyon to work alongside with you. Because then you're telling these particles to say, I know you're existing, but now I really need to bring intention into our relationship. Work with me, align with me. Okay. So macrocosmos. Step 3 is your intention. You see a lot of times, even on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, people just started channeling random stuff, right? When you start the video, I don't recommend people listening to those channelings unless you know that channeler very well. There's been times where actually students have brought to my attention where someone was like channeling, but they have like a knife waving in the screen. And I'm like, no, that's not a flight. Like they are literally like cutting up your auric field. They don't know what they're doing. Maybe they cutting cords, but cutting cords don't work in the 3-second TikTok video. So when it's time for you to show up on social media and to shine your light, it's important to right in the beginning of your video, state your intention. And you see me do this in all of my YouTube videos where I say, I address the person that's listening, I address the higher realm. Then I say, the purpose of this transmission is to, right, help you activate your connection to the spirit realm, is to activate your 3rd eye. So we have the responsibility as a healer to tell people our intention before we transmit anything, right? It's not like you go into someone else and be like, oh, I'm just going to go in and clean your house. Even if that's your intention, you still need to say, hello, I'm Tiffany, I'm a high priestess. This is my intention to help you clean up the house or your energy body. That is basic spiritual mannerism as well. Now, within that intention, depending on the setting, you also need to ask for permission. So, for example, if you're seeing one-on-one clients, right, in your practice, we ask permission, right? Do I have permission to connect with your higher self, to access your Akashic records? I always do this, especially in the first session. If it's a regular client, I know that they've already given me permission, but the first time it's important to ask for that permission. The next thing that a lot of healers miss, as appropriate. Whatever you do when you're channeling for yourself or especially for others, in your invocation, you need to ask as appropriate, right? Remove what doesn't serve this person as appropriate. Why? 1, to protect yourself so that you're not carrying anything you're forcingly releasing from that person. Where's that energy going to go if it's still activated to you? That's how some of you, sometimes I hear my students say, oh, I just saw this client and what they ran through, I'm going through it right now. It's like I'm repeating what they went through. I'm like, did you say as appropriate? Did you forcefully remove things when it's not appropriate? Because we have this heart we want to serve, right? So as appropriate, you're telling both parties and the higher realm to say, this is my boundary. I will only do what is appropriate. So I had to learn this the hard way as well in my journey, where sometimes in the beginning of my journey, I see an entity in someone's body, and my innate instinct to help is to remove it. Even if I have to fight, even though my nose started bleeding after the session, it was so intense with some of these demonic entities that I tried to force it to happen. But then I would pay for it afterwards when it's not even my place to do it. So you make sure you ask. This is what I do as well when I'm working with people. I say, is it appropriate for me to help this person work on this past life? The higher self say yes. Okay. Is it appropriate for me to do the inner child healing for them? No, they have to do it themselves. Okay, then I'm going to guide them. So you always ask, right, for this energetic container and boundary. And there are some times where certain entities, I can't remove the client, and I'll just be upfront and be like, the guidance I'm getting is that I can help you heal and maybe release about 60% of the attachment, but that 40% is on you. I'm going to teach you some homework on how to remove that 40%. So that in a way empowers the client, and it also empowers me as well as that mentor. We're not here as healers and channelers to save other people. When you create that saving relationship, you're going to also codepend on each other. When they have like a crisis, they're going to be like, I'm going to text this person. I need an answer from my guides right away. And then you're not empowering your client. You're allowing your client to be codependent on you. So make sure that the energetic boundary is strong right from the start. Number 4, right? The 4th step is gratitude. Right? It's just like when someone comes to you and you give them a gift and they say thank you, then you're more likely to want to give them more, right? Because they show gratitude. This also shows purity of the consciousness as well. And we see this sometimes even when I'm interacting with people, and this is not a judgment, is that they're not aware of how much they've been blessed with. Sometimes in the beginning of my journey, I'll be giving like free sessions because someone really needed it. At the end, there was not even a thank you, Tiffany, for seeing me for free, for taking out your time to see me. And then after the session, I'm like, so that's why this person is struggling so much. They don't even appreciate the basic. So that's why they are in this cycle. So when you show gratitude, it's not like the higher realm or your teacher has the ego, is that you're showing you are genuine. You are spiritually mature enough to understand the concept of energy exchange, honor, and integrity. So those are the 4 steps that every single time you channel, doesn't matter if you do a long version, as long as you wanted to, like a whole ceremony, or like a 15-minute version where you activate the macrocosmos, microcosmos, your intention, your protection, and then your gratitude. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you, right? Very important. That's how you set up the space for a safe practice. And I see a lot of people miss this step. So any questions so far? Does it make sense? Right? Very simple, easy to remember. The next thing is channeling in itself is not just you sit down, close your eyes, and things come to you. Channeling have different ways of being. Every one of you channel differently. So try not to force yourself by projecting yourself and comparing yourself to myself or another spiritual teacher of how they channel. Matt Kahn, for example, he channeled in an hour by talking. He speaks on his YouTube in his workshop. That's how he channeled. My channeling, I do best when I'm teaching, when I'm activating spiritual gifts, when I'm helping people connect with their guides, when I'm talking more into the higher realm stuff. That's my channeling. Some other person will channel during coaching when people ask them questions and then the thoughts just come and they channel. Some people channel through making stuff. I have a lot of students that make things. One of my students, she started out with me and now she's like Amazon bestseller. She has a really successful Etsy shop where she makes jewelry, but she channels light codes into the jewelry themselves. So each one of you channel differently. So forget what you've been learning, dissolve the ego today, and honor how you channel. It's like in Justice League. If Wonder Woman is like, oh, I wish I can be like Batman, but she's not Batman. If she tries to be Batman, 1, she's not integral to herself. 2, is not authentic to herself. 3, she's gonna burn out. So allow yourself to honor your unique way of channeling is actually going to help you channel further. That being said, a lot of you are claircognizant and I've made a lot of videos on my YouTube If you are clear cognizant, please watch those videos on clear cognizant, because I see a lot of my students who are clear cognizant wanting to be clairvoyant. And so it's still okay to work on other skills that you have, but in the foundation is you need to learn how to use your clear cognizant first. Once you've activated that fully, sometimes you might not even need the clairvoyance. Sometimes you might not need the clairaudient. You've already mastered who you are authentically. So the next thing is your energy exchange. So channeling is a dynamic practice, right? It's not just closing your eyes and channeling. It can be through movement, through dance, through light language, right? Through, like I said, art piece. You can even channel healing energy into a glass of water. This is how one of my fellow master teacher, he healed someone from cancer, live in 2 different countries. All he does is every night he sits in front of her in a Zoom call. He sends healing energy into the glass of water. She drinks it every night, and then she was healed from cancer. So channeling is really multifaceted, and learning how to know what your gifts are and actually practice it is going to bring you that confidence. The first thing that I wanted to share forth is the energy exchange. Let me open up the slide for everyone. Okay. This is building a foundation. What is building a foundation, everyone? When you are a master chef, you must learn how to use the knife. You must learn how to cut vegetables. When you are Qigong master, you don't learn the whole flow right away. You learn each pose, each sequence, one by one. Then you learn the whole flow. Same thing with channeling. 4 pillars of channeling is essential to take care of your energy system. Channeling does take energy. Channeling in itself, I would say I've worked a lot of different types of jobs, is the most energetic intensive that I've ever done in all the jobs that I've worked at. I can sit on a desk for 8 hours as a clinic manager, no problem. Channeling, one time I pushed myself too much for like, I don't know, 5 hours of channeling in a row for 3 different clients. And by the end, my nose was actually bleeding from me pushing my body too much. So I had to learn, right, through my own learning, how to honor my body. And so as a high priestess, as your teacher today, I am ingraining this concept in you: strong foundation. Strong foundation naturally creates more powerful results, right? Think of yourself like a tree, like I said, grounding, right? Your roots have to be deep and vast. What do I mean by that? Your roots have to connect straight down to Mother Earth. And we'll do that today together, connecting to the crystalline core of Mother Earth. Mother Earth innately nurtures you. And so you need to link in, plug in, so that she fuels you, right, through your roots. Or else this clearing, this recharging is not going to happen. The root as well expand, right, horizontally. What does that mean? Is as you work on yourself with your inner work, you feel more connected to your environment. So this is mastery, where a lot of spiritual people are learning now, is not to reject the 3D, not to go too much into the 5D, but is to know we need to master the 3D and the 5D to make a coherent life that is balanced for ourselves. So that means roots, friends, opportunities, connection, openings, possibilities, right? Your roots need to be vast. So it took me a long time to grow these roots in my journey as well. I struggled like a lot of you. I had a lot of childhood trauma, abuse, then manifested in sexual assaults, abusive boyfriends, and just a lack of confidence, a lack of voice, lack of backbone. I was someone that was the nice girl, the vanilla girl that you would just walk past and not respect. And I had to do a lot of inner work, healing my ancestral trauma, healing my root chakra, healing my womb, healing my spine to do this work. And I'm still not perfect, but because my root is strong now, I'm able and have the capacity to channel the information that I channel for that very reason. So your root, very important. Protection is important because you're not doing this alone. Channeling is an act of energy exchange with your clients, with the divine realm, with other beings, your guides, and if you're working with someone else, their guides. So there's this whole umbrella of protection that surrounds you. And I know some people that I've taught have told me that I thought I was really protected already. I don't need to invoke protection. And then something happens. Even though I'm at my level, there are times that I am still susceptible to psychic attacks. So as someone that's more masterful, that is still susceptible to the natural element of this nature of work, then you, as a new or adapt or experienced channeler, must invoke protection. It's like going into swimming, and when you dive into the pool, you're going to get wet, right? It's the nature of the pool. When you go out to a camping, there might be mosquitoes and bugs bite. That's the nature of the forest. Same thing as channeling. Do not let a lot of the mainstream ideals tell you that you're always in this love and light cloud, nothing can touch you. I know that I've seen some of these people teach that to people, but they come to me for healing. And I'm like, the protection needs to be there, right? So very important. Clearing. We, right, are always beings that are gathering energy. So how do we create channeling and messages that's pure to make sure that we're constantly purifying ourselves? Every day you take a shower for your physical body. Every day you have to take a shower for your energetic body. Recharge is important as well. Replenishing your chakras. Like I said, channeling is like a battery, right? The size of your battery is your light body, your spiritual body. How big is that spiritual body? So how many people can you hold with your light body, right? And the longevity of that battery as well. If your battery just short circuits after 10 minutes, right, then you're gonna like fall asleep, you're going to feel more tired. So it's like working out in the gym. Channeling is not instant gratification. You go to the gym day one to build your abs. The first day is going to hurt a lot. Second day hurt a lot. And then over time, as you practice little by little, 15 minutes here and there, the muscles build, you become stronger. You lift heavier and heavier weight. Same thing with channeling as well. Do not expect yourself to be this powerful channeler. And then if not, you go into emotional dysregulation, doubting yourself, saying you have just ruined your practice, you're starting from zero. Is every day 2%. It's like an investment that you put into your practice, and over time it creates results. So that's what we need to embody right now, is through that tree of life image that I shared with you, building your spiritual battery. Okay. Any questions so far? Let us know in the chat. Now, how do you practice your abilities? A lot of times people think to activate your third eye, you have to close your eyes, you have to like do what we're gonna do with the guided meditation. That's one way. There are other ways where you can practice your third eye with your eyes open, where you can actually use physical items to activate your third eye. So I'll share with you 2 techniques and exercises that can help you with your clear abilities. 1, looking at something that brings beauty and purity into your consciousness. Why does the elite bombard us with images that have to do with blood, trauma, everything on like, you see in like mainstream, the news, Netflix and stuff? Why don't they bless our eyes and consciousness with beautiful images? Because they know it's then ingrained into your third eye. It's like a little camera. Each image that it takes, it gathers into the third eye. So purifying these images is really important as well, especially for those of you that have fear in regards to your gifts. Is or sometimes you've seen too many of these images and it's like ingrained in the third eye. So that's what I had to do too. I have really left both parents where they would show me scary movies like Chucky, Alien when I was like 5 or 6 years old. And so part of my practice was I need to, like, in the tree of like clear those images, I actually have to like use my chi to push them out of my third eye. I also work with different divine flames and light codes to transmute and dissolve them as well. So clearing the images is important, and then now seeing beautiful images. So with your eyes open, pick something that's beautiful. Like, I love this rose because it's like a crystalline rose, right? So I would meditate just simply by staring at this rose and just, that's all I do. I just quietly appreciate how when I turn, it turns different colors. And then I start to see, oh, look, there's like this little edges. And then I start to see, oh, wow, there's like, I almost can see like the particles. I can also see, you know, the aura that is around this item. You can do the same with like live flowers as well. Buy yourself like a live flower, go to your garden, pick a flower, and then just look at the flower, look at the sacred geometry, the colors. Then the more you do this practice, everyone, what you will do that master channelers do is attunement. You become one with that flower, simultaneously dissolving the boundary of the physical, and you become that flower and you begin to feel when the rain rained down on you when you were a little plant. You remember the tickling sensation when the bees and the flowers are gathering pollen on you. You remember the warmth of the sun hitting your leaf, and you feel the chemistry of the leaf, the chlorophyll moving in the leaf. You feel the water. You feel the ladybug crawling on your twigs. That's attunement. And that's what makes a powerful healer and channeler, is your ability to attune and become that being, because that's pure. That makes you a more powerful healer as well, so that you're not projecting your expectation onto the client, where you can dissolve into their state of being and see, what does this person really need? This is mastery right here. This is secrets. When you learn Reiki, right, they teach you a structure, symbols. The next phase, when I train my mentees and high priestesses and master healers, is I teach them how to melt into the other person's consciousness and say, what is it that they need? Not what I want and expect them to have in this session, but what do they need to really come out of that shell? That's attunement. That's what's going to make your client feel that you understand, you are attuned, and you resonate with them, because you can come from that understanding of attunement. So that's number one, right? So again, it's a different practice that you can do anywhere. On your way to work, when you're waiting for the bus, look at something beautiful, attune to them. Go beyond just what it looks like. Go beyond, like, how are they as a seed? How are they as like a baby kitten? If you look at a cat walking down the street, how does it feel when their paw hits the concrete? That's attunement. So that's the first practice you can infuse. The next practice as well is take a fruit, and this you can practice all your clear abilities with it. You have your clear touch, so touching the texture of the orange. You have clear smell, how the orange smell. You have the temperature of the orange. It just came out of the fridge, so it's cold. You have also the sight of the orange. It's orange, it's round. And now the next practice that I invite you to do is study this physical item with all your senses, right? Sight, hearing, squishy sound when you squish on it, touching. And then you close your eyes and you try to activate your clears. Activate your clairvoyance. Can you now see the orange shade of the orange? Can you, even though your hands are not touching the orange, feel and remember the cold sensation? Feel and sense the roughness of the orange. Can you now, not having your nose close to the orange, remember what it smelled like? right? So that's how you also exercise your clairvoyance, exercise all your other clairs using this practical exercise. That will be homework for everyone. So now we're going to move into the guided meditation itself. Now, in your guided meditation, there are different types of guides that you might connect with today. You have source, you have your higher self, you have different beings from different realms. Now, my philosophy is quality over quantity. I only have a few handful of guides that I work with. I don't need a lot of them. You say high quality. So a lot of times people think the more guides that I have, the more powerful I am. If that is your purpose, yes, but it can also create more fragmentation in your consciousness. So having one or two guides is enough. And different guides comes and go during different phases of your life as well. So it's important to not judge the experience. You're going to have guides from the angelic realm, seraphims, orphanims, cherubims. You're going to have guardian angels, right? You're going to have different types of angels, archangels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, and so forth. You have the elemental realm. And people sometimes misunderstand the elemental realm, but there are actually really beautiful, high vibrational beings in the elemental realm. The pure ones, what we call unicorn, mithrandes. You have the elemental dragons. You have flower fairies. I always share that the flower fairies gave me the best dream I've ever had in my life. And you also have different elementals, the water elementals that can look like a mer being. You can have fire elementals and so forth. You have beings that are from, for example, the galactic realm. My Octarian Master of Light that guides and trained me to use bioplasma to heal my body from pharmaceutical damage. I have my Palladium Master of Light who teach me how to create things, my creativity, and so forth. So galactic beings, but galactic beings, I advise you ask for 9th dimension or beyond. 5th dimension, they still can have an ego, which is helpful if you're like an ambassador. If you're learning their way of being and you want to learn what it's like in the 5th dimension as a Palladium, having that guide can be really helpful. They also have frequency technology as well that I have seen miraculous results from on myself and my clients. So galactic realm, angelic realm, you have the dragon realm as well. I work with dragon goddesses, my mother Kuan Yin. I have my own dragon lineages that I work with as well. Dragons, again, get a bad name, but again, they always twist it. Dragons are very powerful protectors, and dragons actually teaches us a lot of the lost knowledge and memories that have been burned by books and so forth. Some people might have guides that are beyond the realms that I've mentioned. It might be in Atlantis, Lemuria. It might be you in another dimension. So one of my guides is actually my Lemurian high priestess self that I channel. And she teaches me and she brings me back to Lemuria where I can remote view what Lemuria looked like, how the people lived in Lemuria. So it's through her connection that I create the course, right? So whatever comes to you today, just observe, because the pieces of the puzzle is going to give to you throughout time. It's like little things that you unlock, okay? So just be open. On your next in-breath now, everyone, if I may invite you to join me. Take a deep breath in, and first we attune to your temple. On your next inhale, channelers, lengthen your spine towards the ceiling as though you're growing taller like a tree. And then exhale. Release your shoulders. Let your shoulders ground and settle down. Another inhaling up. And then exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now place one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus, the stomach area. Inhale, feel the expansion of your heart. your lungs, and your solar plexus, being connected to your body. On your next inhale, relax the hands on your thighs, facing up if you want to receive energy, facing down if you feel like you need more grounding. Then on your next in-breath, begin to breathe in and bring forth awareness to set your energetic protection. The 4-step invocation. Call the macrocosmos. Dear Source, dear my higher self, dear my high-level spiritual guides of love, light, and ascension. Now wake up your microcosmos. They're all of my organs, my soul, heart, mind, and body, all aspect of me, all of my cells, all of my DNA, quantum molecules. Please wake up and join me now in this practice. I love you all, honor you all, appreciate you all. Let me receive the light codes that I need to power up my channeling abilities. Let me receive the messages that I need to feel, sense, hear, know during this session. Let me receive the healing that I need as appropriate to my practice today. And on your next in-breath, take another deep breath in. And settle into a space by asking for protection. However you do this, and as a group, I'll do it for us as well. But for yourself, you can ask for your guardians to protect you. You can ask for divine light to shelter you. And then come into a state of gratitude. Dear divine, dear source, dear galactic central sun and the purest form of light. Dear everyone joining into this vibrational field today beyond space, time, and distance. To your soul, heart, mind, and body, I love you, honor you, and deeply appreciate you all. I hereby invoke the pearlescent light code and the divine flame of the white rays to shelter us in purity, in love, in light, to bring forth brilliance, transparency, warmth, enthusiasm, brightness into our lives through today's practice. I hereby invoke the divine white flame to shelter and protect us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will now offer a sequence of light codes and light language to help attune your consciousness into the channeling state. If you feel in alignment to receive this from me and the higher realm, these light codes and this light language, you might give permission to receive by feeling in your heart, yes, I receive. Cleansing light codes, light language transmission of the seraphims of light. Activate. Clear third eye. Golden flame transmute images of all past and dense. Clear chakra system, ground to earth star, link to earth. Sikini nayo kulunaye sini nayo kulunaye sikikayo ushina naye si ikayo unshanda naye kisini nayo kulunaye kisikikayo ukulunaye siki nayo kulunaye. On your next in-breath, everyone begin to tune in and take a deep breath in. I will now speak directly to your consciousness through light language, a divine message that you need to hear, receive, and heal directly from source today. Allow your heart to notice what you see, feel, and sense during this transmission. Receive direct messages from your higher self source and spirit guides of love, light, and ascension. Transmission begins. Kulenai noine sininayo kuluninaye. Ushundunaye ki isayo kulunaye. Bikisi nayo ulunaye kini nayo kulunaye. Unshununaye ki isayo. Unsandai ki isayo. Kundanai sininayo kulunai ki isi. Kundunaye ki sinayo kulunai si. Kundunaye sininayo kulanai. Ishindanayaka, ushindinayaka, ushindinayaka. Kunkunaye sikikayo ukulunaye ni sininayaka. Hunshanai ki hunshanai ki hunshanai ki. The cosmic web of wisdom infused into you initiates as the silvery light of divine silk and protection weave itself to protect and strengthen your auric field. The celestial dragons of sapphire flame burn and blaze ablaze before you. Multi-dimensional wisdom imbued upon you, for you are a sacred seed that sparks with divine light. Each and every moment of your being brings forth divinity, authenticity, and artistic articulation of the divine realm. You are a dance of the sacred songs of light. You are an expression and a manifestation of the divine spark. Through divine protection and multidimensional expansion and growth, you have arrived in this aspect now. All in this now, all is all, one is one. Kulunai sininayo ku unshandanai. Insandanai ki ishindanai ki isayo. Usundanai ki indayo kulunai. Nisina nayo kulunai ki isiyayoi. Deep breath in once more. Feel yourself attuning to this vibrational field that I'm creating now with the divine realm. This is the frequency. Peace, groundedness, neutrality, sacredness, purity. Another deep breath in. Exhale out. Feel as though there is a tornado or vortex around you. As you inhale, you're going to bring all of this light codes frequency of light into your body. Simultaneously, as you infuse this vortex into yourself, you feel light like a feather, light like a cloud in the sky. With the dragon breath, I now hereby invoke and command anything that is released today be cleansed, dispersed, dissipate, disappear. Quish. We close this practice today with a gratitude genuinely from our hearts to our divine guides, to ourselves. Any beings named and unnamed that protected us, guided us today, healed us today. We thank you all. I hereby commence the practice complete, disengage, disconnect. Another deep breath in, everyone. Exhale out. And come back to center by slowly rubbing the hands. And opening up the eyes. Oh, wonderful. Welcome back, everyone. So that is today's practice. That's the first workshop series of this sequence that I'll be guiding. How did it go for you? Let me know in the chat. And right now, I'll open up towards some Q&A as well. So Maggie, let me know if I missed any questions during the session. Then also, I'm just waiting for questions and feedback to come in. And those of you that are interested in learning with me at a deeper level, please feel free to check out my courses, my training programs on my website. I'll be sending everyone a coupon code for 15% off any of my courses within the next hour or so. My team is going to send that out. And so you can use this coupon code, which is February 15, on any of my courses. If you're interested to learn more, just send it to Maggie by accident. Use the coupon code. So there's a lot of information that you have to digest today, so be sure to take some time. We watch the replay if you need to, and you can email me with any questions afterwards. So let's see. Thank you, everyone. Love the dragon frequency, amazing. Felt really strong, awesome, Stephen. I'm glad to hear. Pay attention on my temples. Yes, a lot of you guys were receiving third eye and a brain cleansing from the higher realm. I saw this old energy releasing. I also saw some of you being uplifted in like a white sparkling light as well. Very purifying, very high vibrational. Intense energy, amazing. So a lot of you guys are feeling placentian, very beautiful. So questions are coming in. Hi, Katalin, nice to see you. When I channel, I always feel that I get information I already know. Why isn't there any new info? So great question. When you're feeling like you have reached a plateau in your channeling, it usually means that there is a key, a sacred key that you need to use to unlock the next stage of your journey. So rather that means on the practical side, this is what works for me in my journey is taking like a new course, like a new training with a teacher. Maybe it's learning about shadow work. Maybe it's learning about shamanism. Maybe it's herbs. Maybe it's spirit guides, Akashic records, whatever it is. It's not that you know that stuff already. It's you need that teacher's key codes to activate your consciousness. So that's how each of you, right, carry your own key codes, your own vibration that unlocks things for your students that another teacher and another master can't do to your capacity. That's why we need all light workers to rise, because a lot of you feel like, I already know this stuff, or there's other people teaching that stuff already, but they don't have your key codes that your student need to activate their consciousness. I talked about this, I believe, in a recent class, and I have so many classes, so I can't keep track, but it's called Hoi Hiu in Chinese or Taoism. So Hoi Hiu means opening up of the third eye, opening up of the consciousness, and opening up of a portal, right? Sometimes in Chinese, there's many meanings in one word. It's basically now you need that next key code, the next portal to open up your consciousness. So that's what have helped me. And as I observe my student happens when they on the tangible level go work with someone that has that key code. So it can be even a private session with a healer that you've been watching for a while, maybe on YouTube or on Instagram. It's not that you need them, but it's that they carry some key codes that you might not have that they can share with you. It's like that. Thanks, Maggie. Yeah, so there's a free course as well. So the free course that Maggie just shared is a 3-day workshop where I guide people to channel more. Mind you, this is really old because I've had a business for a while. So I addressed the student in that course with like goddess, but the material works for men and non-binary people as well. And eventually when I have time, I'll update it. But right now I'm too busy with classes and sessions. But if you're interested to learn more, that course has a lot of amazing information as well. I felt as if I was being uplifted with light, and actually one of the violet images blocking my third eye came up as well, or violent images came up as well for clearing. Yes, that's why something that I did when the beginning of our session, when you hear me do that sound, was clearing the third eye. So a lot of you are very in tune, and Omer as well. Wonderful, you felt it in your third eye. Yes, thank you so much, Tiffany and the team and everyone who creating the sacred plays. Thank you, Christine. Maria, how to stabilize my skill at channeling? I used to have very potent openings, but I feel that they appear when they have how to stabilize my skill at channeling. I used to have very potent openings, but I feel that they appear when they have to appear. Okay, so the question is, from my understanding, is how do you make it stable on demand? Like a lot of people ask, like, how do you just sit down and channel for people instead of having it just randomly pop up in your consciousness? So that happens when you know through your personal power what your connection is and what your gifts are. So for example, knowing that my constant connection with Mother Kuan Yin, with the dragons, Arcturians, Syrians, Pleiadians, those are like my big, and also the Lemuria, Council of Light, and the dragons, those are like my team. Once I know my team and I have a strong field with me, then it also creates this constant connection with these team of being. So Maria, it might be helpful to realign, reconnect with your close team of spirit guides, because they are going to be the grid that grounds you and stabilize your channeling. Also practicing as well with others. So find opportunities to practice with others. I don't know if you're in my courses, but any of the Light Codes Healer courses, the mentorships like High Priestess, High Priest, and Master Alchemist, I create sessions where I guide and train healers to read each other and channel with each other on demand. So it's like you need that practice with other people. Right? You can do it for free, just find some people to connect with, make sure they're pure energy though. It's not like you tune in with random someone and there's like a demon standing there. You're like, oh God. You want to, connect with people with similar vibration with you. And then there's practice. You only get good as a basketball player when you get in the court and play with other people. So that's another block. I see a lot of new healers that come to work with me is I don't know how to use my skill, and I'm like, you're not practicing with people. Of course the skills come like this sporadic. Even now that I focus a lot of like teaching classes, I still do sessions with my students because that keeps my channel very open and I learn new things all the time from my clients too. So it's having that hermit mode that a lot of us light workers have. I'm scared of people. I don't want to connect. That has to come out. That has to be broken in order for that stability to come. So it goes deeper into shadow work. It's working with your ego, your inner child to heal woundedness around feeling unsafe around people based on your past experiences. So all of those things, Maria, is going to help you, right, build this foundation. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for this amazing workshop and everyone for holding sacred space. Thank you, Nadia. Chris, I really appreciate your teachings today. I'm new to a lot of this subject. I'm curious, what language were you speaking and what did those words mean? What's their purpose? Thanks, Chris. Nice to meet you and welcome. So the language that I was channeling is called light language. In some cultures called tongue. It's not like new age or woohoo. It's in so many cultures already. Light language can have different frequency. So the one that I was particularly channeling has dragon frequency carried with seraphim pearlescent codes and white flame. So I channel the frequency. It's like scores in music sheets right there. So the score, and then within the channeling itself, it carries healing codes within the vibration itself. So that's called light language. And what did those words mean? So those frequency can mean nothing. It can just carry the frequency, that healing, and poof, that person receives it, and that was the healing. Now, the next day that I teach to people in my courses is that I teach them how to understand the light language. So notice how in that session we just did, at the end, I did a translation, right? I did like, the dragon spoke to you all, and I forgot what they were saying word for word, but they were speaking some English to you guys, right? That was like the main translation of the message. So that's like the next stage, right? One is you receive the light language. Two, learning what light language is. Three, learning what it means, what it carries. Four, teaching other people light language. So there's different level of mastery. So Chris, if you are drawn to light language, I encourage you, if you feel like I'm the right mentor for you, join us in the light language course or in one of the light codes course, because that's going to help you understand how to channel light codes or light language. And a lot of my students are in here too. So they speak very powerful light language. So purposes can be for healing, for speaking to the consciousness. Like sometimes when I'm working with a client and I know they're very new, and then there's some things that I can't get through to their consciousness, I would speak light language because their ego, their brain can't understand it. Only their soul and the heart can understand it. So it's how I bypass the ego and speak directly to their consciousness. So literally, if someone is feeling blocked and not even able to cry and let it out in the session, I literally just stop whatever I'm doing in the session and I go, and I start to speak light language directly to their third eye, and then they start crying. But I didn't ask them to cry and open up, right? Emotionally for that healing in English, I spoke to them in light language. So light language is infinite. You can use it for so many things. How to know where or from who you're channeling? Very good question. Thank you. So one is you set the intention, like I taught you in the beginning with the 4-step invocation. You set an intention to say, I would like a message from the angels, or would like a message from my Akashic records. I would like a message from Mother Kuan Yin. Then you can have a more clear sense of where it's coming from. Now, if you're just channeling, you're like, okay, whoever comes to me comes, but make sure you say beings of light, love, and ascension. There's people that have said just, oh, whoever comes to me, I'm like, well, whoever, it's not a good boundary to set. Make sure you say beings of love, and love, light, and ascension. And you ask in the channeling, dear my higher self, who is talking to me right now? And to those of you that are not very advanced yet, you do a process of elimination. Right? You say, is it Is this an angelic guide? And then feel, no sensation, no. Is this a dragon guide? Ooh, I feel a sensation rising up. Yes, that was a dragon guide. Was that Elohim guide? No, no feeling. Was that elemental guide? No, no feeling. Dragon guide, feeling. Okay, that's how you can use like logical process of elimination to find out who. Then from there, let's say you're like, okay, it was a goddess. Which goddess? If you're not too advanced yet, you can get their name. You can ask for, right, again, a sign. Maybe you see a dragon goddess Kuan Yin. Maybe you see a golden egg, Mary Magdalene. Maybe you see like a silver flame, Mother Mary. Whoever it is, however they show up in a symbol, then you can decipher who it is. And to the spirit realm, it actually doesn't matter who it is. By a group of beings, usually they work with you. Like Syrian Council of Light, they never show up as one being. They always show up as a group. Every time I work with Syrian Council of Light for myself or other people, it's always a group. They never show up alone. So you can also decipher it from there as well. And the other way you can find out is to work with a teacher, a master, right? Like myself, who can help decipher, okay, who is it that you're channeling? What is going on? Thank you, Tiffany. What is the meaning of a bee, a peacock as a sign? So if you see a bee, like I have here, bee is a symbol of Venus. So if your soul has connection to the planet Venus, if you had incarnation on the planet Venus in the higher dimension, the bee might come to you. The Venusians as well are matriarchal. Their leader, people get triggered and they misunderstand. The leader is like who serves them is a queen. So they follow the bee hierarchy because when the Venusian first landed on Venus, they were not natural inhabitants. It was a bee being that was there first. So they have to ask permission of the bee beings. Can we, share your land with you? Something the colonization system can learn from. And then the bee people said, yes, you can share this space with us. And then the Venusians were so grateful that they adapted the way of how these bee beings live into their own structures. So the bee will speak to you when you're connecting with Venus. Peacock as well, a lot of times have to do with your third eye activating, or sometimes can come from, I see this a lot, from the angelic realm. So the angelic realm like to use avian images to communicate with you. Phoenixes, doves, different types of birds like peacock, swan, and so forth. They use these images to communicate with you. So peacock is actually used as a symbology of a particular light code that helps activate the third eye. Let's see. Practice. Yes, Maggie. Also being around high vibrational people and places so you can attune to that frequency. Absolutely. Thank you. So been connecting with my spiritual team, grounding was some profoundly amazing. Tiffany can definitely feel intense vibration during your light language. Okay, so one more question. Then we'll close for today. Awesome. I'm glad, Maria. That was helpful. So one last question. Do you use the rule of 3 to ask for the identity of the light being coming through in channeling? I don't know, what is the rule of 3? I'm not quite sure. What is the rule of 3? So the identity of the light being coming through. And feel free to unmute your mic if that's faster to explain it.
Hi, it's like asking 3 times, who are you, or what is your name? So the other side might say, I am something. So if that person or that light being answers 3 times, then that is truly from love light. Is there such a thing?
Yes, you can. So you can use that, those questions that you've asked. This is a really good question too, is whenever you meet with a guy or some new guy that's coming into your life, you want to like interview them. Like, What's your intention? Where are you from? Why are you connecting with me? Unless you ask for them. That's like different, right? You know where they're from, what their intention is. So yes, you can ask those questions. And also, even if they answer that question, I would love for all of you to take time to get to know their frequency. Every person is different. I can speak to each one of you. Like I said, right, this realm is like fire. You don't want to play with fire and be innocent, right? And I'm not saying you, Carmen, I'm just saying to everyone, because I've seen this happen to some people where they trust too early and then they haven't cleansed their consciousness. So they think whatever they're connecting to is pure. And down the road, the spirit guides start controlling their lives. They're telling the person what to eat. They're telling the person what to do now in the next hour. Like high level spirit guides don't control you in any way. In fact, the higher level the spirit guides, the less they speak, the less they try to be flowery with you. They don't have to prove anything to you. Connecting with Mother Kuan Yin, she doesn't speak. She just, boom, here's my energy. You just feel this vibration, and she works what she needs to work consciously in the conscious level, and it's done. She don't have to tell you all these flowery images, but it's powerful. So take time, and thanks for bringing up this, Carmen, is new guides take time to learn about them, especially if they are galactic guides or guides. I think it's pretty safe to connect with like Kuan Yin or Mother Mary. They're like masters of light that a lot of us connected to, and the vibration is very powerful, very strong. So that's another thing why sometimes I mention doing shadow work is as you purify your consciousness, then you cut out the noise and you know exactly, is this guide in alignment or not? So that's really important. And you'll know that. And also you can ask me or your teacher to tune into this being, be like, is this being sound right to you? And there has been time where I've told people and be like, this being don't sound all that high vibration, to be honest. So if in doubt, ask for a second opinion. Kurthika, nice to see you. So how to maintain the consistency? I'm guessing it means consistency in your practice, right? Consistency is very important to work with someone that you trust. So that's why I show up and I do lives and do workshops like this. For what reason? Is to hold the coherence, the network of my student in this grid, to say, okay, come back, be consistent, keep going. Like your car, right? As you travel through this journey, you need to fuel yourself. You need to add gas in your car. So the number one thing is don't feel like you're alone in this journey and just tune in. Even though if you know, oh, she's teaching this, I know this already, I'm not going to go. It's again, like I said, it's the codes, it's the frequency, right? A lot of students sometimes say, I'm hitting a plateau. I already know this inner child step. I'm like, yeah, but did you practice it? Did you actually work on healing your inner child? And they're like, no. So I'm like, okay, then there's the practice, right? Gotta do the practice consistently. So lean in, practice, again, 2% every day. And it doesn't have to be the same. I also see sometimes people get into a burnout where they practice like 4 hours a day, an hour a day. I don't practice hour meditation every day. I do my work and then I'm done. And the only thing I do will be like little things here and there, cleansing. That takes like 5 minutes. I might do some shadow work here and there, but I don't have like a set, like a 1 hour every day. I kind of flow and see, okay, I need to work done. What do I want to do? Sometimes my practice, it's just making an herbal tea and be like, okay, here's all the herbs. What does my body want? I'm going to channel what my body wants. And then as I feel into each herb, then I will put it in the blend of my tea. That's my channeling practice. And that's it. So there's lots of ways to do it. Don't overcomplicate it. Be creative, have flexibility. Steve, is there specific practices for recharging? I still have one more question. So, okay, last question. Sorry, everyone. So I gotta honor everyone's time. So any specific practices for recharging? So recharging, you have to tune in and see where your energy leaks are. you can recharge. And I'm still learning this all the time you want, but if you're leaking energy, it's going to feel like you're pouring into a glass with a hole. So it's tightening up those energetic boundaries that a lot of us, like nice light worker, people pleaser, really have to learn how to do. So it would even retrace your step a little to say, okay, where am I leaking my energy? And it's hard because you have to be so honest with yourself and be like, I'm doing it again. I'm going to have to really change my habits. Then once you recharge, it's going to be faster and more efficient. So before this workshop, for example, what I did was I had lots of emails I have to return, but I need to show up for this workshop as my best self because I need to hold a big space. So I decided instead of, answering all these emails, I went and took a bath with rose petals, with sea salt, and just relax so I can show up as my best self. That's my recharge. That's my boundary, right? So maybe that will help some of you too. It's like when you take care of yourself, when you plug up all those energy leak, recharging becomes a lot easier. How do you cleanse your vessel? So physically as well, some of you knows Medical Medium. He has a lot of like smoothie recipes. I think those are really affordable way to cleanse your physical body. So smoothie and your physical body is important. You really want to, even as a channeler, I used to work in the corporate. I used to be those typical Asian girl, have like, expensive handbags, perfume, makeup. When I started going on this journey, all of those things I stopped doing. I was like, this makeup is like toxic. This perfume is toxic. I don't need these like expensive handbags. It doesn't really prove my worth in any way. I was just trying to blend into the corporate world. I want to dress in natural fabric that is cotton, linen. Those are actually higher vibrational fabrics. I wanted to have naturally made makeup that are like fruit pigment, like coffee pigment. So cleansing your vessel is really a big question. You really have to look at your whole life, because I'm like, if I want to be a clear channel for people, I can't be consuming these artificial stuff. I can't be consuming negative images on Netflix. I can't be like surrounding myself with toxic people. It's like a whole lifestyle shift, and it takes me years to do that. So be patient with yourself as you cleanse your vessel. But cilantro is really good. Sage is really good. Again, like Medical Medium has a lot of those detox smoothie that you can find online. Do those smoothies every day. Are there any practices? Okay, fine. Yeah, last questions. Are there any practices we can use to open and activate your unique soul gifts? So very good question, everyone. That I will answer in the next workshop. In the next workshop, I will be doing something like this again, where you sign up for the workshop, and I'm going to be talking about your spiritual gifts. And then the next workshop after, I'll be talking about business stuff for those of you that are healers. I'm going to give you some training on how I build my sustainable spiritual business that reach 6 figures and 5K, 10K months without going like super salesy, without the, the yicky stuff that people do out there. So I know a lot of people want to learn how I'm doing this successfully. And yesterday, I even have one of my own mentors saying, how are you doing this? I'm like, oh, okay, so people need to learn. People want to know. So 2 more workshops coming up for different purposes. So thank you, Maggie, for moderating and keeping me on track and on time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. So I will see you next time. Be sure to check out the courses, come learn if you can do it. If you need payment plan, just email me and let me know. It's been a pleasure to be of service to you. Have a wonderful day. Carry this light codes with you onwards for the rest of your weekend. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again, Maggie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.